Good evening and welcome to the NCW Life Evening News. I'm Rick Boone with you on this day. Thank you for being here. Let's get started first with your forecast. Here's Grant.
Thank you, Rick, and good evening, everyone. Hope you had a fantastic Thursday. Hey, we've got some changes coming our way. The National Weather Service sent a graphic this morning, and check this out. Our 6 to 10 day outlook. Temperatures below normal for the Pacific Northwest, and precipitation, that's right, above normal. So expect our final day of August and our first 5 days of September to be full of weather changes, and we'll talk about those changes coming up a little bit later on. Rick?
All right, Grant, we'll get back with you a little bit later in this newscast. First up tonight, a hearing for a 14-year-old facing a murder charge. In court, an arraignment now scheduled for the Wenatchee teen. He's accused of killing a 42-year-old homeless woman in late May, stabbing her. If sentenced in adult court, he could face up to 26 years in prison. You can read more on this story right now on WenatcheeWorld.com. Well, it's some history to be made on Tuesday, September 1st. One police chief in 2 cities. Our Oscar Rodriguez sat down with this new chief of dual locations.
Hi, I'm Oscar Rodriguez with NCWLIFE, and here I'm interviewing Chief Rick Johnson, who's soon to accept a new position for the Wenatchee Valley, becoming Joint Chief of both Wenatchee and East Wenatchee Police Departments. Chief Rick Johnson, happy to have you here.
Thank you. Thanks for having me on.
So yeah, just first off, just wanted to ask, could you tell us a little bit about the position, and does it come with a new office?
It does. There's going to be an office on both sides of the river now. I obviously have a chief office in the East Wenatchee Police Department, but there's one that's soon to be vacant at the Wenatchee Police Department. Edgar's moving out right now. He called me yesterday and talked to me a little bit about it, but at least 68% of my time, so roughly 70% of the time, will be spent at activities in Wenatchee and the Wenatchee Police Department. Obviously, it's about twice the size of the East Wenatchee Police Department, so it's a heavier lift of just things going on there and more employees. So, yep, I'll be moving in next week.
Mm-hmm. And just to clarify, the position is you are contracting out your chief services for Wenatchee Police Department, but you're still going to remain as the East Wenatchee Police Chief.
Correct. Yep. I'll still be the East Wenatchee Police Chief. My employer technically would be the East Wenatchee City, right? And nothing changes there. But Wenatchee is contracting with East Wenatchee, like you said, and I'll be their police chief for all intents and purposes. I went through background for the city of Wenatchee, that we submitted paperwork to the Criminal Justice Training Commission saying this is going to be our chief. It's kind of, I guess, I don't want to say this. It's new territory for the state of Washington, right? So we were navigating it based on the legal representatives from both cities and calls to WASPIC, calls to CJTC, and we think we've got it all worked out.
Mm-hmm. And you're referring to that new piece of legislation, correct? About how certain police chiefs or sheriffs need to be approved nowadays?
That's part of it, yeah. So even before the legislation, you still had to submit your if you're going to work for another agency, you notify the Criminal Justice Training Commission. But as of August 4th, it was if you're a police chief, a town marshal, or an appointed sheriff, you essentially submit an application to Criminal Justice Training Center saying this is the individual we want to use.
Mm-hmm. Going back a little bit in time, when this idea was first proposed, do you want to tell me a little bit about, did you have any concerns at the time? Were you pretty happy about the possibility of serving in this position? What was running through your mind at the time?
Full disclosure, it's come up numerous times over the last 20 years, not necessarily involving myself, but it's something, it seems like almost every time one of the agencies has a police chief retiring, it gets talked about by mayors and councils. It had been brought up in the past when Chief Crown was retiring, was the most recent time. And at that time, East Wenatchee was going through accreditation process and really just getting rolling on some of the things that we've worked on and that we're really proud of, and the timing wasn't right. And that's usually what it has, or seems to be the biggest factor in this, is right timing. And so it is talked about to both Chief Crown and I before about what we thought of it. And at that time, we were both like, not right timing, not personalities in place, all of that. So this time, when it came up, we're at a different place with East Wenatchee and Wenatchee, and the timing felt more right, and it just kind of built momentum as we talked about what it could be.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. And could you tell me a little bit about, there's been a lot of talk from the council members about how this might improve efficiency between the two departments, as well as provide some amount of savings to the departments, which I'm sure the residents of the local area are happy to hear about savings. But could you tell me a little bit about what residents might expect in terms of changes to how they might interact with their local law enforcement?
Yeah, two things on that. I think if we do it correctly, which we're obviously striving for, the average citizen in Wenatchee or East Wenatchee won't see much of a difference, right? It would be fairly seamless. Both departments are still going to run independently, just under a joint chief. So if you call because your vehicle was prowled or you want to report a suspicious person, the response would be the same from each department. Where I see efficiencies for sure coming in is once both agencies are running, we run a very similar policy now called Lexipol. I'd say it's 95% similar. The goal will be to get the policies exactly in line with each other. The training, we train some together now. That will be increased for sure to train everywhere it makes sense to train together. We will. And then as tactics and even equipment, I definitely it's inherent, right? Under one chief, those things are going to come. So what I'm explaining to people is, if it is truly what we would all consider a legitimate law enforcement public safety emergency, would you rather have, and you're in East Wenatchee or Wenatchee, one department that trains under certain policies and tactics and training, respond, and with the assistance of 3 or 4 other agencies that may or may not train the same, have the same tactics, respond the same to an incident, versus the resources of 2 departments, and the 2 departments together are just under 70 commissioned officers. Okay. The resources of 2 departments that are training the same, operating the same, responding to an incident that might be someone's worst day. And I think it's very hard to argue that that's not a more efficient, better response that we could all expect.
Mm-hmm. You kind of jumped on my next question. I was going to ask, given previous conversations we've had, the East Wenatchee and Wenatchee Police Departments have similar policies based on Lexipol, like you mentioned before. So just to clarify again, just to reiterate, both departments will likely share more similar policies going in the future to allow for better management for yourself, given you're joint chief of both departments?
Correct. And obviously, so Lexipol provides a model policy, right? And you can tweak it and change it how you see fit. The tweaks and changes that I've made are what I believe are best, right? I'm a risk manager for the city as one of my roles. And so it's not going to change my opinion because now I'm doing Wenatchee as well. So the tweaks that we've made there will integrate at Wenatchee as well, because I think they're the best practice tweaks. One thing I did want to touch on, in your last question, you talked about cost. Mm-hmm. And there is a cost savings. It is not the only purpose for doing this, for sure. Both cities are in a financially sound place right now, but they are identifying jobs and other ways to become more efficient. And in this split for one position, it saves approximately $140,000 for the city of East Wenatchee, and the number I've been told is $80,000 to $90,000 for the Wenatchee city. So there is a pickup in cost too, but really that isn't the driving force. Just when the East Wenatchee Police Department is right around $5 million. The Wenatchee Police Department budget's around $13 million. So it's not a giant impact, but if we can identify this and maybe some other areas to do things, the taxpayers will feel the relief.
Mm-hmm. I know last year's budget cycle, there was a lot of discussion about around savings, not filling out that assistant chief position. I'm wondering how that's going to play into moving into the new structure. Will the city approach filling that position now that you're going to be handling 2 departments now, or is that going to more or less stay the same?
No, we're actually changing the structure on that. So as far as my memory goes and my history with in the area here, East Wenatchee's had an assistant chief. Eric Hampton retired at the end of January, and we were looking at ways we could cut some costs in East Wenatchee, and the plan was to hold that position open through 2026, and that's what we've done. However, Wenatchee has 2 chiefs that are 2 captains, that are civil service positions, and we've made some changes at East Wenatchee, and we are going to a civil service captain instead of an assistant chief. It's really The title's different, but the job description is very similar. We hardly changed anything. That we're testing for in mid-September. It's an internal test among sergeants that meet the qualifications, and the goal is to try to have that position filled early October. So we would have a captain in East Wenatchee and 2 captains in Wenatchee, all reporting to the chief.
Mm-hmm.
Oscar, thanks so much. Well, school is back in session. That means watch your driving around school buses. Remember, the speed limit in school zones is 20 miles per hour, and if you pass a school bus picking up or dropping off kids with flashers, you could face a $500 fine. You can read more on this story by going to WenatcheeWorld.com. Well, the fair is now here. You're going to go. You can go tonight and go this weekend. Our Nathan Eshelman, he went already to give us an idea of what you can check out at the NCW Fair.
Right here behind me, it is the NCW Fair, and this is going to be a whole lot of fun throughout the weekend. Starting this Thursday, going till Sunday, the fair is going to be open with carnivals, food, and so many vendors that everyone who comes to this event should have a great time.
I'm Carolyn Morley, the NCW Fair Manager. So fun. We are so excited to bring this year's fair to life. Every year we put just a little different spin on it, and this year our community is just excited to experience all the things that this county fair has to offer. So our fair is one of the oldest. There might be a couple more older than us, but we're over 140 years old. Started as a potato festival way back when. So all of our history, all of our traditions have been going on for a very long time. So we are like a small to medium-sized fair. We can't compare to the big state fairs, as you know. However, that's something that's kind of made us special, is we've coined ourselves as the greatest little fair. And so we just want to do little really great. And we do an awesome job at it. And it feels safe, it feels clean, and you can let your kids come and run around and not have to worry. So we really hone in on the county fair feel, and I think we're doing a great job. No, we were able to give our carnival more space, kind of move things around a little bit because people wanted more rides. And so we were able to bring that this year. We're gonna have double the amount of rides as normal, and our carnival is gonna be geared and ready to go about 2 o'clock today, noon every other day. So we're excited for the kids to come see it. All over the state, some of them are even farther, like Idaho. We have a really good mix of different fun kind of fair-like vendors. You can get beef jerky, you can get t-shirts, you can get a custom cowboy hat fitted to your head. So the vendors are definitely worth checking out because they travel near and far to get here. Great about a county fair is you just pay the one fee to get in the fair, and then pretty much everything after that, aside from the carnival, is free. Today's actually free day, so anybody can come in the fair and enjoy it. And there's things like our little kids area at the front. We have an amazing food court. All of our animal barns are so fun. Agriculture is extremely important part of the fair, and we want to educate people on where their food comes from. So that is super fun to do, to go see. And then of course the petting zoo has baby pigs, baby goats, baby kittens, all the different things. And you can look and see and feel and touch those. So very fun. So fun. This year we decided to do double the concert. So Thursday night, Nico Moon, super fun up and coming act that a lot of people don't realize they know until they hear his songs. He is a great showman, so much fun. And then Walker Hayes, super family friendly. We're really excited to have him come, and maybe we'll dance a little on the dirt dance floor.
That'll do it here from Waterville and the NCW Fair. Reporting for NCW Life, Nathan Eshelman.
Nathan, thanks so much. Appreciate that. And hey, Cade, what's coming up in sports?
Hey sports fans, Kate Calvin here. So to come later on in the show in sports, the latest from the Seattle Seahawks. The Seattle Storm get back in the win column, and we'll take a look back at this day in sports history. That's also to come as part of the NCW Life Sports Blog.
Kate, appreciate that. Talk to you a little bit later. And coming up in just a few moments, Grant will be back with us in just a moment with a look at your full forecast. You're watching the NCW Life Evening News.
Now there are even more reasons to meet at the Pybus Market. Outdoor dining and tastings, the fabulous Farmers Market, Saturday artisans on the concourse, and your favorites all week long. No matter the reason, it's always time to meet at the Pybus Market. Pybus Market, where community meets.
Slide and surf all summer long. Soundwave Saturdays, more than a surf park, it's the summer scene. Grab a drink and enjoy live music every Saturday in July and August. Slide Waters in Lake Chelan. Don't miss it.
Time now for a check of your North Central Washington weather forecast. Hope your day was a good one. Boy, our air quality started off so nice this morning, and then it kind of degraded as we went along. Still not as bad as other areas, but you can see the smoke lingering in the lower valley. This is Kashmir on your screen as we look out our weather window. Our air quality around 103 in Wenatchee, which is unhealthy for sensitive groups. But on the other side of things, look what's going on up north. This is our Billy Goat Sky-Fi tower camera, and this is Pateros right down here. You can just see a little bit of the town. Air quality up north unhealthy, and that includes Chelan. And folks, you folks have been putting up with that for quite some time now. So a little difference in air quality. I think we will all see some clearer air as we move into the weekend. All right, high temperatures today, much cooler. We were at 94 yesterday for a high. Today, about 10 degrees cooler. Our high temperature 83, but that's where we should be for this time of year. 83 is now our normal high. Record high set just 3 years ago, 2023 at 96 degrees. We were at 66 this morning, 58 our normal low temperature for this time of year, and 47 our record that was set in 1960. Sunrise this morning 6:13 and sets tonight at 10 minutes to 8. All right, checking on your Friday weather. Temperatures will be a lot like today. We'll see 83s for Moses Lake, Ephrata, and Quincy. 82 tomorrow here in the Wenatchee Valley. That goes for Eniat and Chelan as well. 81 in Kashmir, and 79 the high temperature tomorrow in Leavenworth. And that's the beginning of a cool down as we get into the upcoming weekend. All right, tonight we expect hazy skies to continue. Things will get a little bit better throughout our evening, mainly because of those breezy winds that we expect tonight. Low temperatures in the upper 50s with mostly clear skies east of the Cascades. For your Friday, once again a little bit hazy. We will see mild high temperatures with readings into the low 80s, so about where we should be for this time of year. Should be a beautiful day for our Friday. And then as we get into the weekend, some changes. Partly cloudy, breezy to windy conditions on Saturday afternoon. We will see cooler temperatures too. Look at that. Highs on Saturday only into the mid-70s. And then as we get into the end of the weekend on Sunday, we expect some high clouds, especially in eastern Washington. We'll see warmer temperatures Sunday. Should be a beautiful day. High temperatures to end our weekend near 80 degrees. For Monday, this will be probably our best day going forward. Monday, we expect mostly sunny skies, but look at this weather maker to the west and also a bigger area of low pressure moving down from the Gulf of Alaska, but not before we hit the low to mid 80s on Monday. Tuesday, that's where the showers come into play. We'll see mostly cloudy skies. One area of low pressure still just sitting off the coast, and that'll bring scattered showers throughout central and western Washington Tuesday. A 30% chance here. High temperatures, probably low 80s on Tuesday. And then our wet day is Wednesday. Low pressure just off the Washington coast. Mostly cloudy skies and a 40% chance of rain. This will all move east throughout the the evening on Wednesday, with high temperatures then in the mid-70s. All right, here's your 7-day forecast. 58 overnight tonight, a little hazy. Nice day, though, for Friday at 82. Partly cloudy and windy then as we get into the weekend, and 75. Not bad for Sunday. A few high clouds out there, and 79. Looks like Monday will be our best weather day moving forward. Mostly sunny and 83. And then for Tuesday and Wednesday, a 30 to 40% chance of rain showers. 81 Tuesday, and all the way down to 76 for a high on Wednesday. And that's a look at your North Central Washington weather forecast. Coming up next, Cade Calvin with a look at area sports and more as the NCW Life Evening News continues right after this.
Are you dealing with a pest or weed issue and you just don't know what to do?
We use the best pest control methods approved for areas with kids and pets.
Whether it's rats, mice, ants, or spiders,
or something else altogether, we provide the coaching and solutions you're looking for.
And you can know that your dollars are supporting a local, family-owned and operated business.
Allow us to help you get back to living healthy and pest-free. Harvest Valley Pest Control.
Somewhere behind these doors is a family member, often alone, taking care of a loved one with Alzheimer's or some other disability, or providing care for a loved one who is not ill but only aging and no longer able to care for themselves. In the field of caregiving, this is the home front. For the home is where most Americans will live out their last days. Contact Aging and Adult Care of Central Washington for a variety of services, including caregiving, meals, and medication help.
Hi, I'm Amanda Walden with A. Walden Insurance Group. Medicare can be overwhelming, but you don't have to figure it out alone. I've been helping people understand their Medicare options for over a decade. Medicare isn't a one-size-fits-all. I'll help you understand your coverage options so you can feel confident in your decisions. Let's find the right Medicare plan for you. Call me today or come and see me at my office located on South Chelan Avenue in Wenatchee between the YMCA and the Social Security office. I look forward to meeting you soon.
Welcome back in, everyone. I'm Cade Calvin. Let's talk some sports for a few minutes now. We're going to start with the Seattle Seahawks, who are locking up another key piece to their defense. The Seattle Seahawks are locking up another key piece of their defense, agreeing to a 3-year, $90 million contract extension with defensive tackle Leonard Williams, the big cat, folks. The deal includes $56 million guaranteed and keeps the 3-time Pro Bowler in Seattle beyond the 2026 season. Gotta lock him up. Williams was a second-team All-Pro last year, helping the Seahawks win their second Super Bowl title. He's recorded 22 sacks in 2.5 seasons with Seattle after arriving in a trade with the New York Giants back in 2023. The 32-year-old was originally set to become a free agent after this season, but now stays put as one of the centerpieces of Mike McDonald's defense. And speaking of the Hawks, the Seattle Seahawks officially have new ownership after NFL owners unanimously approved the record $9.612 billion sale to Vinod Khosla and his family Wednesday in Atlanta. The deal was first announced in July, but needed league approval before becoming official. Khosla and his family had already been part owners of the San Francisco 49ers, but will now have to give up that stake as part of the Seahawks purchase. NFL Commissioner Roger Goodell joked about the family's timing, saying it's not often you get to buy a team that just won the Super Bowl. Khosla says his family's humbled by the opportunity and hopes to become more involved with the Seattle community and the 12s. The Seattle Storm finally got back in the win column Wednesday night, beating the shorthanded Toronto Tempo 90-78. Flau'jae Johnson led Seattle with 20 points, while Dominic Malunga added 18 points. Jade Melbourne finished with 16 points and 7 assists. Seattle closed the third quarter on an 11-4 run to take the lead, then opened the fourth with a 9-2 spurt to build a double-digit advantage. The win snaps a rough stretch for the Storm, who had lost 14 of their previous 15 games. Seattle improves to 8-31 on the season and will host the Los Angeles Sparks on Sunday. All right, it's time once again to fire up the sports time machine and take a look back at this day in sports history. On this day in sports history, August 27, 1921, the Green Bay Packers took a huge step toward becoming one of the most iconic franchises in football history. At a league meeting in Chicago, the American Professional Football Association officially admitted the Acme Packers of Green Bay as a member. Less than a year later, that league would change its name to the National Football League. Green Bay had actually formed its team 2 years earlier in 1919, but this was the moment the Packers entered what would become the NFL, and they were very much the little guy. Green Bay had a population of just over 31,000 people, making it the smallest full-time city in the league. More than a century later, it still holds that distinction. The Packers played their first league game that October, beating the Minneapolis Marines 7-6. And by the following season, the APFA had become the NFL. But on August 27, 1921, a team from a small Wisconsin city of beginning a pro football story that's still going on more than a century later. Alrighty, that's all for sports this time. Reporting for NCW Life, I'm Cade Calvin.
The Surf and Slide Water Park is open from Memorial Day through Labor Day. Surf and Slide is located in the heart of Central Washington in Moses Lake with activities for all ages and abilities. Check out Surf and Slide's Flow Rider Surfing Simulator, Lazy River, 2 200-foot water slides, tube slides, and diving boards. Our children's area includes a Treasure Island water structure, splash pad, and baby octopus slide. For season passes, visit us online or find Surf and Slide on Facebook.
Welcome back, everybody. Thanks for watching the NCW Life News. Let's get one more look at your weather with Grant.
Thank you, Rick. One final check of your weather forecast now. And we've got big changes coming our way, especially next week. Look at our temperature outlook. Below normal for Washington State. And as far as precipitation goes, all of Washington and most of Oregon above normal. So weather changes ahead. Rick, back to you.
Grant, appreciate that weathercast. Well, hey, are you looking for a new family member? One may be just around the corner for you if you go to the Humane Society in this week's Pet of the Week.
It is International Dog Day across the world, so of course I had to bring my little friend Bucky here with me to work. So what International Dog Day really is a day to appreciate dogs who are strays and those who are in shelters.
Hi, I'm Corley with Wenatchee Valley Humane Society. I'm shelter manager here. And today I want to introduce you to Bandit. Bandit is our, 2 to 3 year old mixed breed, medium-sized dog. We're not really sure what he is, but he is full of life and love, and he is looking for a home. Bandit is in our Clever Canine program, which is why he has a purple collar. So that means he's extra smart, and so we give him lots of additional enrichment and toys and mind puzzles. And he really enjoys those. He really wants to learn anything that you teach him. So far, he's really good at sit and lay down, and he's learning other stuff. So full of energy. He loves to jump and spin and fly across the yard if you let him. What else? He's extremely treat motivated. We'll do anything for a snack. And yeah, his favorite thing though is people. He will do anything to be with anybody at any time. Yeah, always has to be touching you. He's just a really big love of a dog. Yeah, we've had him a little too long now. I want to say about 6 weeks. Yeah, and that's too long for a young, energetic boy like this. Yeah. He came to us as a stray, so we don't have any background information on him. We have no idea how he does with cats because he's a stray. He is a little selective with other dogs, so if you do have one, we always encourage that you bring them with you so that they can meet and see if they get along. We're open from Monday through Sunday, 7 days a week, from 12:30 to 6, and we would love to introduce you.
On top of highlighting Bandit as the pet of the week at the Wenatchee Valley Humane Society, it is also International Dog Day on Wednesday. The international holiday was founded in 2004, starting in the United States. The goal of the holiday is to promote the adoption of dogs from shelters and rescue centers while raising awareness about conditions of strays and abandoned dogs.
We believe that every dog deserves a chance at a loving home. We've had dogs that have come from all walks of life, from coming in as strays, from bad situations, from owner surrenders that they just didn't have any other option. But you know, there's a home for every single dog we have, and we love finding that for them.
In a fun way to recognize the holiday, multiple pet stores across North Central Washington are celebrating the holiday.
It's really important, and it's honoring all the dogs that come in here every day and that we get to make friends with. So we're going to be doing 10% off everything in store, and that does include cat stuff, just for people who have cats too. We have to show them some love, we can't exclude them, so, And then we will also be doing pup cups and little like treat food samples and whatnot. So it's just a lot of fun little things for dogs to do and just for us to show some extra love, get some pictures of them with their families and stuff. So we're really excited for that tomorrow. I think on like an average day we see around like 20 dogs, so I hope we see double that. That would be great.
If you have a fluffy friend with you, make sure to give them a couple extra pets or treats today to celebrate the holiday. That'll do it from Wenatchee for me and my friend Bucky, reporting for NCW Life, Nathan Eshelman. All right, who can resist that face of that pet? Be sure to stand in line to take him home, or some other animals there at the Humane Society to check out and make part of your life. Hey, thank you for watching us here on the NCW Life Evening News. Appreciate you always being here. And to find out what's happening in your world, go online right now to WenatcheeWorld.com. Be sure to check out stories important to you. We'll see you back here again next time, everybody. Thank you always for watching.